皆さん、また来てくださってありがとうございます。こちらはマンハッタンニューヨーク月曜日の朝です。ということでね、もうすごく今日は気持ちいい。もう緑がもうキラキラしてるニューヨークの朝です。ということでね、今日の動画は何本かあるんですけど、ちょっと短いのが何本かあるんですけど、まず、マリアさんの Fox の日曜日の朝の動画です。動画を訳したものをあげます。エリックトランプさんがゲストで出ています。これはね、木曜日にあるじゃないですか、ディベートが、バイデンとトランプさんの。ということで、これに関して条件とかを話してるやつです。で、もう一個は、リタ姉さん、スカイニュースオーストラリアの動画を上げますけど、例の AOC の動画、いかに民主党員が狂っているかっていうことをね、普通の皆様に見ていただきたいんですね。そして、クオモさん、元ニューヨーク知事アンドリュー・クオモさんの前回は弟さんが出て、今回本人が出て話していらっしゃいます。この方はニューヨークの知事ですごく人気があったんですね。この方も弁護士で、でもどちらかというと、元妻がロバート・ケネディの娘さんで、人権派の弁護士さんで、彼も弁護士さん、もちろん弁護士さんなんですけど、なんかこう、ロバート・ケネディ・ジュニアみたいな感じで、民主党でもなんかすごい悪代官側じゃなくって、ちょっと人権派の方なんじゃないかなと思ったんですね。なんか全然あんまり悪い印象がなくって、しかし弾劾されていらっしゃいます。ということで、この方、ニューヨークの司法長官だった時もあったみたいで、その方が、やっぱりトランプさんのこの起訴と有罪は、これ絶対的におかしいとおっしゃっているビデオです。で、おまけとしてですね、有罪判決が出た翌日だったかな、これ CNN に出てた CNN のやっぱり反トランプのロイヤーの方がやっぱりちょっと一言言わせてくれっていうことでおっしゃっているので、これも一緒に載っけてみました。ということで、まずはマリアさん、日曜日の朝のマリアさんの方から見てください。どうぞ。
Sunday morning with a look ahead to the upcoming first presidential debate between President Biden and former President Trump, now just 4 days away. This Thursday, hosted by CNN in Atlanta. The rules for the CNN presidential debate include candidates will not be allowed to interact with staff during the 2 commercial breaks. After a coin toss, Trump will be featured on the left podium and Biden on the right podium. Microphones will be muted outside of the candidates' allotted speaking time. No props or pre-written notes will be allowed on stage, and President Trump will have the last word during the closing statement. Meanwhile, the Biden campaign and the DNC revealed on Thursday that they hauled in $85 million in fundraising in the month of May, falling way short of the Trump campaign and the RNC haul, which pulled in $141 million, including nearly $53 million in a 24-hour period right after the guilty verdict in Trump's New York trial. The debate prep is Trump Organization Executive Vice President and President Trump's son, Eric Trump. Eric, great to see you again. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Maria.
So how is President Trump preparing for this upcoming CNN presidential debate?
Well, obviously he takes it very seriously, but he's doing what he does. He's going all over the place campaigning. He was in inner city Philadelphia yesterday, which was an amazing thing, right? Something that Republicans just don't normally have the backbone to do. And you saw him do that in the Bronx, and you saw him do that in Queens, and you saw that he's doing that all over the country, and I'm proud of him, and the crowds that he's drawing and the diversity is really incredible. But Maria, at the same time, make no mistake, this is still CNN, right? This is Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper has compared my father to Hitler before, right? I mean, Jake Tapper is the guy who will yell at his control room, say, turn this man off. I don't want to hear what he has to say, or when my father is giving press conferences. I mean, I can't tell you who these people are. You know who they are. You've seen them before. I saw them as I walked into a courtroom every day. He's not just going to be debating Joe Biden. He's going to be debating CNN. And go back to CNN debates in the primaries in 2016, right? It was the same thing. It was attack after attack. They can't help themselves. And you better believe that Biden's going to be getting a lot of, a free pass. And, you better believe that they're, going to hit my father. But one other thing I need to mention, Maria, it's pretty telling of a president who has to go to Camp David in the middle of the woods and lock himself effectively in a bunker for an 8-day period of time because his policies are so bad that he has to figure out some way to polish them up and try and sugarcoat them and try and frame them with all of his top advisors. And I can tell you my father is not doing that. My father is on the right side of these issues, and 10 days or 8 days in the woods in Camp David to try and explain yourself to the American people. I'm not exactly sure if that's, if that's a big, showing of confidence.
Well, I mean, look, you raise a couple of important points. On the Camp David situation, I mean, look, the world doesn't stop. We've still got our adversaries. They're coming at us. Communist China, Iran, Russia. I mean, so for him to take himself out of the situation and sort of go and, hold up in Camp David, I mean, we pray nothing happens, that he's not, in the White House. But the other thing on Jake Tapper, the other day I saw a clip of Jake Tapper, and somebody put it on Twitter, I think, and he said to one of his colleagues, let's remember what happened in the 2020 debate. Trump brought up Biden's family taking money from China, and President Biden said it wasn't true, but now we know otherwise it was true. Actually, Biden lied. Jake Tapper said that. I saw the clip. I mean, I don't think it was made up. I saw the clip. So if he knows that, do you think he would bring up this influence peddling investigation that the House Oversight Committee is doing against Joe Biden? I don't know. Or is it the CNN rules that he won't be allowed to bring up that? Because James Comer is using words like money laundering and bribery and influence peddling. I don't know. Do you think he would bring that up, or would that be against the CNN rules?
If he's intellectually honest, he would. But it would absolutely be against the CNN rule. Don't forget, Maria, and this point often gets lost. Remember in 2016 when Donna Brazile admitted that Hillary Clinton was given the debate questions ahead of time? Like, these games are played behind the scenes. The only person that they're not played with is Donald Trump, because the mainstream media absolutely detests him. The good news is the American people love him. And the good news, back to your, it's bad news for our country, but believe me, the American people know his eye is not on the ball in terms of China or in terms of the Middle East or in terms of any other policy that matters. He doesn't know what's going on. I mean, look how bad Russia and Ukraine's gotten. Look how bad the Middle East has gotten. Look how bad our inflation is. I mean, horrible policy decisions that he's made over the last, 3.5 years.
Watch this private school educated daughter of an architect patronize the locals. I love the hair work. That's excellent. She wants to win the country back, y'all. From whom exactly? I don't know, illegal immigrants, Joe Biden. She does realise the Democrats are in the White House, that the so-called hush money case was not legitimate, and all it did in the end was boost Trump's popularity.
He was lagging behind Biden, and now he's pulled quite a bit ahead. That trial was the greatest reason people had to send their checks for $5, $10, $25, whatever dollars to Donald Trump.
The Attorney General's case in New York, frankly, should have never been brought. And if his name was not Donald Trump, and if he wasn't running for president from the former AG in New York, I'm telling you, that case would have never been brought. And that's what is offensive to people. And it should be, because if there's anything left, it's belief in the justice system. Just
understandable terms. Some part of the jury instruction is easy to understand. For example, it's up to you, the jury, to assess the credibility of the witnesses. Anyone can understand that. Other parts get really deep into the weeds, usually when we get into the elements of the crime. And what happened today, when the parties were arguing about what the jury instruction should be and should not be, absolutely blew my mind. I need to call this out. We collectively, prosecutors, are pushing the boundaries of due process here. The general back and forth in the courtroom today was the defense lawyers saying, Your Honor, please tell the jury specifically what the other crime is, right? Prosecutors have to prove falsified records for another crime. Defense lawyers were begging him. They have to know what the other crime is. And prosecutors were saying, no, let's keep it very vague and general. It's a bizarro world. I know that there is some aggressive reading of the New York statute that says, well, the jury doesn't really have to know what the other crime is. But to me, that suggests that the DA's office is hell-bent on getting the conviction now and worry about the fallout later.
Caitlin, that's exactly the opposite of the way it usually is. Usually it's the prosecutors who want things more narrow and the defense attorneys want things wider. And here it's just bizarro world.